I'm Vicky and I'm the Anne Summers presenter, and we're joined today by the lovely Sally. Sally, would you like to say hello to everyone?
Hello everyone.
And what is it that you do, Sally?
So I am the Director of Nursing and Health Information at the charity Breast Cancer Now.
Amazing. And how long have you been doing what you're doing?
So I've been at Breast Cancer Now since January of this year, but
Okay.
my career is obviously having been a nurse, and I subspecialised into cancer quite early on in my career. And I've been a chemotherapy nurse, a breast care nurse, a breast nurse consultant for kind of an 18-year career in the specialism of breast before I moved to Breast Cancer Now.
Wow, amazing. So talking about Breast Cancer Now, obviously Anne Summers have this incredible partnership and we're doing great things together. Would you just like to talk a little bit about what Breast Cancer Now does and the services that Breast Cancer Now offers?
Yeah, definitely. I'm always happy to talk about Breast Cancer Now. So Breast Cancer Now is the UK's biggest breast cancer charity. And following mergers with other charities, we're now under one roof, a charity that funds life-changing research. But we also, which is more of my remit, have this very supportive element of the charity. So I manage a team of nurses. We run a free helpline. We have a written response service, so people can email us, they can write a comment or a question on our social media platforms and we'll respond. We run Facebook and Instagram Lives, our nursing team, and we bring specialists in just to open up that remit and that conversation for people online. We've got an amazing website, we produce lots of health information, we've got a forum that people can go on and share experiences. And then also I work really closely with all my colleagues and we have lots of services. So that's really based around a peer-to-peer support, and that's bringing people that have had breast cancer together. So we have a service called Someone Like Me, where when someone's diagnosed, if they'd like to be matched to someone that's had a similar experience to them, we have a volunteer who's had breast cancer kind of 2 years or more ago, and they can then be linked up. And some people just get a lot of support from knowing someone's been through the same as them.
That's it, isn't it? Because I guess everyone's experience is completely different. So the levels of support and the different mediums and the way they can get in touch and having that relatability element, that's amazing.
Yeah, and our aim is to support everyone affected by breast cancer. And so we know everyone's different. So we have to look at support ranges for everyone's needs.
Amazing. Just fantastic work. Honestly, it's great to have you and to be having this chat. And of course, it's perfect timing as well because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October.
It is.
Tell us about that.
So we are getting prepared for October,
Busy month.
BCAM as we like to call it. And obviously for us, Breast Cancer Awareness Month has it started in the States and it's been going since the 80s.
Has it?
Yeah.
Wow.
But for us, it is that opportunity to really highlight breast awareness, breast checking, all the work we're doing, supporting people with breast cancer. Now, whilst we do that all year round, October is a month where we can really focus on that conversation.
And what sort of promotional things are you doing? What can we look out for this year?
So this year we have a brand campaign as part of our organisation, and that's to really highlight that we're here for anyone affected by breast cancer. So we're calling that we're here for you, and within that we've had lots of already we've highlighted lots of people within the charity who play just a really key role. So obviously I'm just one part of that charity and as are the nursing team, but we have loads of amazing colleagues that help us do the amazing work that we do, and we are bringing an advert out that hopefully people will see that really is trying to open up the conversation around breast cancer, because there may be things that people just don't feel people have talked to them about and they really want to talk about, and actually sometimes what you see isn't always how people are feeling.
Definitely. So look out for the advert. And whilst we have you, could we get your advice on checking for the signs of breast cancer, please?
So Breast Cancer Now, we have a campaign called TLC, so Touch, Look, Check. And I think the key thing is for us is about instilling in everyone, so men, women, anyone, that breast checking should be part of our normal daily life. And it's embedding that in a routine, the same as brushing your teeth every day, brushing your hair every day. If you moisturize your body every day, you know, I could go on and on about our routines. It's about breast checking being part of that, and I think it's just really taking away the fear that there's no special technique, there's no specific time. It's just about embedding that as a routine and checking regularly. Now I know that can mean different things to different people, because you know we wouldn't say necessarily just after your period to everyone, because not everyone has menstrual periods. So for us it's about being as inclusive as possible around breast checking. So it's about checking both breasts, it's about checking under your arm, it's about checking the way up to your collarbone, and that's just checking for any changes. So it's about knowing what's normal for you so that you can recognise a change, and that could be a lump, a change in the skin, that could be a lump under the arm, as I said, extending up to the collarbone, changes in the nipple, and that could be the skin of the nipple, discharge from the nipple, and it's just reporting any changes. And quite often those changes aren't anything to worry about, but it's always important to get them checked out. So that's about people going to their GP or practice nurse or whoever can do that assessment. And for most people they'll be referred to a specialist breast clinic, which is, you know, where I've worked before, and that's where people can be assessed.
Brill. I think it's one of those things, isn't it, where I think as a nation we're so guilty of, we're always on the go, and like you say, it's making checking become part of your routine and a habit. And if you do notice, you know, anything, again, just having the conversation, even if it's with a friend, or we were talking before, friend to friend, we wouldn't even really talk about it usually. So that awareness and starting that conversation is so important. When it comes to, obviously, Ann Summers in store, our staff obviously do the amazing bra fittings. How would you suggest that our colleagues at Ann Summers might start the conversation about, you know, breast cancer awareness and checking during bra fittings? How would you sort of suggest that they start that?
Well, I think you're going to have kind of Breast Cancer Now's aids with you, so that you can point people in the direction and signpost them to our TLC information. And so that could be an opener of the conversation. And I think it's just about promoting that caring for women's or people's health. So actually, you know, you're trying a bra on today, are you someone that checks your breasts?
Just as simple as that.
As simple as
Are
that.
you someone that checks?
And I think it's just, you know, if someone says, oh yeah, I do regularly, then that's fine. And if someone says, oh, it's not something I've thought about, it worries me a little, then, you know, it's just entering that conversation and just raising that awareness, and then going down whichever road someone wants to.
Okay, great. So would you say it's sort of best for colleagues, it's like pointing their customers in the direction, sort of?
Yeah, I don't think there's any expectations that people should be then entering into demonstrations about breast checking, because as I said, there's no special way. It's just about raising awareness and then signposting to specialists like us. And then, you know, and people can be self-directed on our website, and then some people will call our helpline and they say, oh, I really don't know how to check, I'm really worried. We've got nurses and teams and volunteers that will go out and kind of go to organisations or to groups or to, you know, and even support individuals around breast checking. So I think it's more of the raising awareness and the signposting. People. Yeah.
So talking about when it comes to breast cancer treatment, how would you say that affects sexual wellness with women?
Yeah, I think it's quite complex because I think it's difficult to separate the effects of the multiple effects on treatment. But I think what's important, and that's part of our brand and we're here for you and talking openly, is about looking at the impact, and that could be the physical impact of surgery. So that's a mastectomy or a lumpectomy. Some people's breasts can look very asymmetric and different, and they can feel that body image impact as much as someone that's had a mastectomy. For some people, losing their hair with treatments like chemotherapy, and even when their hair grows back, for some people it just doesn't look the same. And so, you know, we hear from people that I look in the mirror and I don't feel like me anymore. I look like a different person, and that can have an impact on then how they feel in any relationship. So that could be with their partners, their friends, and people saying that, you know, if I don't feel attractive, how will my partner see me as attractive anymore? So I think for some people it is just that real change from a body image point of view. For some people there are the really physical effects from treatments, and that can sometimes be treatments that then will render people menopausal maybe sooner than natural, or if they were going through the menopause, it could induce those symptoms again, and that's things like vaginal dryness, pain having sex, and these kind of things can just make life difficult for people. I mean, there are some people that, you know, continuing their sex life, that means that normalizes their life again, that their life isn't entirely focused on breast cancer, and that means, you know, they can then have their normal relationships
their
and
identity.
not their identity, rather than being the husband or the wife of someone that has breast cancer, their sexual partner. And
I guess that's one of the reasons why the partnership's amazing, because again, it is promoting the sexual wellness element and supporting women that have gone through treatment in that sort of realm.
And some of the work we've done where we've looked at things like body image, that some people feel that it's not something they should bring up because it's not as significant. They think, is it significant? Are people going to want to talk about that with me? Is it a priority? Because there's this huge focus on treatments and research and things. And so some people really don't talk about it. So I think for us, it's about actually saying anything that's impacting you is important, and it's important to us to support you through that. So partnerships such as this with Anne Summers are great for us to, you know, we definitely have conversations with people around sex and intimacy and the impact of breast cancer on that.
Okay, so let's talk about the partnership. When did the partnership start actually between Breast Cancer Now?
It's around 3 years now, so it was late 2019. There was some preparation and building up to that point, but it's since 2019.
Amazing. And the figure in terms of fundraising, so this is only since 2019. How much has been raised?
So Anne Summers has raised £225,000 that will help us to continue the work we're doing, which is just amazing.
That is,
because we can't do what we do without this.
Honestly, it's incredible. So 10% from selected products from the My Viv range, and we've got some of the products here which we're going to talk a little bit about later, and we've got a new product as well which is really, really exciting. So 10% of profits goes towards that fundraising fee, which is just
us to, it's just amazing, because it just, as I said, helps us to continue the work that we're doing and support people affected by breast cancer.
That is incredible.
It is incredible.
Such an amazing partnership. And we've got some of the range here on display. But can we talk about how products like this can obviously help women that are going through treatment or, you know, post-treatment?
Yeah, I think our role, as I said, at Breast Cancer Now is about talking to people openly about aspects of their life that are affected by breast cancer, and sex and intimacy are an important part of that. And so for us, it's around signposting people, but just really opening up those conversations and exploring, you know, for example, advising people about lubricants and to go out there and to find what lubricant might be most appropriate for you, and you might need to try one or two before you get to the point that you find one. And things like vibrators may be the same for things like vaginal dryness and vaginal atrophy and pain in having sex. Things like vibrators can and masturbation and intercourse can really help maintain the blood flow and the suppleness of the vagina. So it's opening up those conversations and giving people options, and it's about whatever's right for that person.
Exactly. And like you said as well, when it comes to relationships, obviously a lot of the vibrators can be used in couples, again, to help bring people together when they've been through that. And the same with the identity point that you mentioned earlier. It's having that moment, the self-care moment, to just be you.
Yeah, and it's just anything that will help in relationships between anyone that's had breast cancer and their partner, and that can be, you know, anyone. And I think it's helping people explore maybe new ways of being intimate, or going back to previous ways of being intimate, but just anything that will help them rebuild that aspect of their life, which for some can be really important.
Definitely. And I think and we always talk about this with Anne Summers, it's all about empowerment. And again, it gives you that power and control back for that moment, doesn't it?
Yeah, because a breast cancer diagnosis can be very disempowering, because essentially for your treatments, you're being told where to go and when, and you're part of that decision-making process, but essentially you're kind of guided through that. And I think if it has impact on other aspects of your life, such as sex and intimacy and your body image, it's about taking back some control. And yeah, that's our ethos. It's about empowering people and signposting them to places they may not have even thought about, like Anne Summers, for help with that.
So I'd love to talk to you about our new product, which is right here. This is the ultimate pleasure vibrator. Sally, would you like to hold it? So this one is a refresh and redesign of one of our original hero vibrators. But what is very special about this is that it was designed by a gynecologist, who obviously is the expert, they know what's what, and it stimulates more pleasure receptors than the traditional vibrators. So this is going to be amazing.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts?
I think, you know, for us at Breast Cancer Now, being the experts in breast cancer, and as I said, our role is around, you know, opening up conversations and signposting people to whatever might help them. And I think for us, knowing that Anne Summers are working with experts such as gynecologists in developing these, really thinking about the needs of the people that are going to be using them is amazing.
Definitely, absolutely. So this one, we'll just show everyone as well how it works. Also, I really like the size of this one. We were talking about this earlier, but the size and colour.
Yeah.
It just feels really calming and soothing, which again, perfect.
Exactly, you know, for that environment and for what people need. Definitely.
Exactly, and especially as well, as we mentioned before, for people that might want to introduce it into their partnership and a couple as well. It's not too big, it's not too scary, it just looks really pretty and really dainty. But with this one, really easy to use. So it's just got the little button on the bottom, which you hold down, and it has got, look at the light. But wait, Sally, wait.
Different light.
Changes colour. How cute is this?
We all love that.
Yeah. So this one's got 3 arms, which stimulates the clitoris and the vulva, which is, it's just a little bit different, a little bit special. It's got 3 speeds, 4 patterns as well. So whatever mood you're in, it's got its different settings, which we love. And I just adore the colour.
I love the colour.
I think it looks super cute, super gorgeous. And this one as well, £52, which I thought, pretty good price as well, amazing. It's also, the silicone on this, it's super soft, and I know you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so some of the aspects of breast cancer treatments can really affect vaginal dryness, the suppleness of the vagina, and whether it's uncomfortable to have sex. So things like this, yeah, just looking at that and the texture of it, and using that between partnerships with things like lubrication, just anything that will help that intimacy and sex from people that are just maybe the impact of their breast cancer treatments are affecting that.
Definitely, and it's super soft as well, and it just looks really gentle and dainty, so perfect. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sally. This has been such an amazing conversation, and could you just finally just let people know where they can go to seek any support?
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure, and we really appreciate this partnership with Anne Summers, and certainly breastcancernow.org is our website where you can find the number for our free helpline. You can find out how you could get a written response if you wanted, and all our health information, all our support services, and also how people can go about fundraising for, as I said, our amazing cause.
Amazing, and don't forget as well, check TLC, right?
Yeah, although we're coming into October where it's going to be highlighted, it is important that people should be checking their breasts, and that becomes part of a regular routine.